of the things Wandamir Oliver asked, JJ, how did you bounce back from your debt? How did you bounce back from that debt? That's the question people want to know. They
And
were
I
robbing
want to
Peter,
make
they
sure y'all
borrowed
know I wasn't being
everybody.
altruistic with not filing bankruptcy. Every couple of years I tried to file bankruptcy or walk away from all the debt, but I had a high level security clearance. Like I said, I was a scientist in the Air Force, and every couple of years I'd go in and the security people would be like, "Nope, you'll lose your
No,
clearance if you walk away." And that's because when people have financial issues, we're ripe targets for being taken advantage of by other nations. Okay, so I wasn't trying to be a do-gooder or anything. I was just stuck between a rock and a hard place. But when you're
mhm.
stuck between a rock and a hard place, the best thing you can do is get a solid team of people around you who believe in you and will hold you accountable. And many of us did. I sure didn't grow up with that, but I was put in places where I could find those people. Now look, being 800 something $1,000 in debt, I didn't care how good your coaching program was. I wasn't buying it because I couldn't afford it. I could barely put food on the table. People from my church, Lieutenant Colonel in the Air Force, people in my church were giving dollar bags of clothes for my boys. You know how humbling and embarrassing that was. Whew.
Mhm.
But really just coming up with a plan and saying, okay, step by step, how am I going to do this? And so we can get into the mechanics of the businesses that I use to do that offline. But I got through about the first 120 was commercial debt. The rest of that was real estate debt. And I discovered I was really good at teaching people how to invest in real estate and how to get out of debt. I said, oh, so that's how I ended up making out. All the rest of that was just using what the Lord had given me and not
Yeah,
chasing after what he gave everybody else.
I love that. Sean McDaniel, he asked or she asked, it said, what are the pitfalls to inheritance property and how to protect yourself? Trust funds, when it is a good idea and when is it not? Is there a middle ground vehicle to protect inherited assets? So Sean had a lot of questions right here. It sounds like he needs to come to your conference, Dexter, in October. I mean, those are kind of like high
Yeah,
level
that's an offline discussion.
It is. So put in
Yeah.
dexterjenkins.com, but he can actually, I think that's one of the things that you do talk about at your conference in October. And you want to tell them a little bit about what that is. What do you call that conference?
Yeah, it's the Wealth Creation Summit. And so we've done that for the last 3 years. And really it's people gather from all over the country to answer one question. How do we use real estate as a wealth creation tool? And so
Mm,
something JJ was talking about land and wholesaling and fixing flipping, those are different strategies that you can use for real estate. And so that's part of it. But the question is a valid one because I think a lot of times we don't do the legal things that we need to do to cover ourselves.
yeah.
And so to make sure that you get, I always say, a real estate lawyer, and not your cousin who does nine other things, but then they
Mhm.
dip in real estate every now and then.
Right. You don't.
And so getting a person who is savvy in real estate, and then if they're going the investing right, someone who is, because all lawyers, all terms aren't created equal.